SEO This Week. Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of SEO This Week. Today we're going to look at DOJ and Google's fight, answer some questions, and show you a couple tools, including the latest and greatest, newest AI that everyone's talking about these days. So all that and more on SEO This Week. Let's get into it. Alrighty then. So I got my drink, got my monster. So let's get started on these news stories. So the first one is DOJ is saying that Google has to essentially divest or split off Chrome from Google. So separate the browser from the engine in regards to the company. And they're also saying that Android should probably be done as well. So they want to separate that. From an SEO perspective, probably not all that much in regards to so what's. I think because of the data that Google is getting from Chrome, mainly the search results and clicking. And I don't even know if it's Chrome. It could be they just do like normal analytics tracking. But they're going to lose a lot of personalization data, and be my assumption. They'll lose a lot of the metrics in core web vitals, which honestly, who gives a shit, because it's useless for us as SEOs. And they'll probably lose a lot of more personal stuff than they will generally from anything else. And then the Android is probably much the same. It'll lose some of access to some of that location tracking, etc. Unless, of course, this divest means that they can split it off into its own, like they have Alphabet and then Google's under Alphabet, and then have Alphabet and then Chrome and then Alphabet and then Android, potentially. And then it would be Alphabet who is correlating all that data. That's a guess, but we'll see where this goes. The short version is the courts have already said, hey, Google's a monopoly in search. Now they just got to figure out what they're going to do about it. And part of this in the divest Chrome and divest get rid of Android or divest Android would be part of that. We've seen this with Microsoft when they had Internet Explorer, and Internet Explorer was... because they were doing essentially the same thing that Google is doing now, or has been doing for ages, and now finally the DOJ is doing something about it with Google. But at the end of the day, it really hurt. It hurt Microsoft because it took them out of the browser picture and gave someone like Google added leverage to dominate the market. I think it's probably what the biggest benefit for Google was, and a loss for Microsoft. But now that it's on the other foot, I don't know. Potentially it increases the possibility of making a level playing field between the search engines. But we'll have to see. The first step is deciding if they're going to divest Chrome, separate them out of Google or an Android or not. And I think we'll be waiting for quite some time for that answer. But just be aware that is happening. Google Search Console API. I think we talked about this before. You were able to see the 24-hour result, information inside of Google Search Console with the API, which a lot of people were excited about. But now you can, or soon you'll be able to see the past 8 days as well. So essentially it'll be saving your content and rolling it through. I would probably assume that there's going to be some BigQuery guys that are really handy with that and building databases that plug that in to a database and then let you save it over time so you can get the API data and see what is going on and compare it to what you see inside of the actual dashboard. See if there's any difference in the information that you're getting. It's also the same when you have BigQuery and you pull in your links, your backlinks every 24 or 48 hours, you're going to get a new set. You'll get a better picture of what Google knows in your backlinks. So this is actually a good thing for SEOs. I want to look more into setting up visualization using Looker Studio and connecting that and seeing, if we can do that. The BigQuery thing is a little bit beyond my skill level at this time, but I know a couple people that can do it. And I think really, honestly, if you follow some of the old BigQuery tutorials, you should be okay. Let me see. BigQuery query from Google Search Console. I think there's a couple posts. If I don't remember, analyze search data with BigQuery, bulk exported Search Console to send data from this one here is probably optimized smart, probably be good and relevant. You just have to apply the new data to it. So a little bit of tinkering around. Maybe if I can figure it out, I'll do a video on it. We'll see. We're done with this. Yep. Okay. Next is content churn in Google double over 5 years. Basically, what this article is saying is that the idea of the evergreen article that ranks and lasts forever is pretty much gone. I would argue that any of those articles that were ranking high and then they ranked high and they generated a lot of traffic. Good SEOs saw that and created competing content. So you're having to refresh it, you're having to add new links to it, etc., in order to maintain that. So that's not necessarily new news, but you can see how long this stuff lasts. Generally, 24 months. I would argue like at the 3 to 6 month period or the year. I'd probably be going no more than 6 months looking at these high value keywords and seeing the rotation in there. The really good high traffic ones, 2 to 3 months is probably what you're going to get out of them for the lifespan before the competition figures out what you did and then builds a competing page. And then you got to, rinse and repeat, take the other one down and put new content up or etc. And that's what this content churn is. So if you were thinking or clients are thinking, hey, I'm going to build something or the old adage, once it's SEO'd, it's always SEO'd. Well, that's true, but the yardstick that Google is measuring your SEO changes. And you can see here the amount of content that's available now to Google, the changing of the yardstick. I mean, after a year, half of your content's not ranking anymore. So, or 24 months, almost a year here is probably what, 35, 40, 35, 37%, just roughly. But, at 2 years, half of your content's gone. So you need to take that into account. This is a good graph to probably keep with you when you're talking to your customers, your potential customers, or put in like your proposals and stuff like that and talk about this. Like, this is why, one, SEO is a marathon, not a sprint, and two, why you need to keep going. So explaining that in the beginning makes those conversations down the road like, oh, I've been paying for a year and a half and I'm not seeing anything. But this is kind of why, especially if you're paying for content being generated without promotion, or not enough content is being generated to stay above this content churn timeline. LLMs.txt folder. I think I've talked about this. I'm pretty sure I did. If it wasn't last week, it was the week before. But in short, there's a proposal by a guy. Where the hell is his name at? as it relates to training AI. Where is it? There's Howard. His name is Howard. It's not Jay Graber. It's Howard. His name was in here. Just right above my tongue. But essentially, there you go. Jeremy Howard. And he created the LLMs.txt file, and he's recommending it as a protocol. It's like an add-on to the robots.txt, and it's an add-on to your sitemaps. And essentially, this file, when built, will tell the language models everything about your website. Not your web page, your website. It strips everything out, puts it into this one file so that the LLMs can read it and go, all right, this is what this web page is. This is what this website is about, increasing or potentially increasing the likelihood of being cited. Just to make everything easier for the LLM. So if you want to adopt it, I know Jordan Pierce, he made one. He's been sharing around on social media. I tried to use it, the sitemaps and SEO Press Pro. It doesn't read it properly at all. But there are a couple other ones. You can see them here. Take those for a run. If you're using WordPress, I might suggest this one, the WordPress plugin, because it'll automatically refresh for you. If you're using an actual generator that's external and you got to keep doing it over and over again, you might outpace what you're publishing with your LLMs, and then worse is if you have this plugin running, it's going to do it on its own. If you're not using WordPress, you're kind of stuck making those over and over again as you go. But you'll have to make an SOP in order to do that. And the short version is this whole thing is just so that you can say what the LLMs can use and what they can't. I'm of the opinion that with the amount of content that's being generated on the internet anyway, even before AI and now increasingly more with AI, your copyright is probably not as big as a deal as it was before. Like, right, you want to protect it. Obviously, you want to protect it. You want to get citations for your ideas. It's one of the ways you build links, etc. But keeping it out of the AI for fear of it's going to get ripped off is kind of short-sighted, in my opinion, especially with AI overviews in there and Copilot. You want to get cited in the search engines, and if the way that they're going to do that is by putting you in these AI overviews and then citing you, then so be it. It helps with your branding. And we'll get on to branding a little bit later. But I would look at this and consider implementing it. Just to do it at this point, has not been any testing whatsoever in whether having this on there does increase your exposure in AI. But that's the idea behind it. So don't let a lot of people tell you, oh, you have to have this, you have to have it. It hasn't been adopted by everybody. It just hasn't. So just put it in there for those that are adopting it. And maybe down the road, this will be something that gets leveraged a little bit more and help you with a little bit more visibility. Google News transitioned automatically to generated publication pages. So the short version of this is, if you have a Google News site, it's no longer using your RSS feed to publish into Google News. It's just reading your website. It didn't specify how it's doing it. I would imagine it's probably just Google bots, but they're no longer using the RSS feed to view that you submit through Publish Center to populate the Google News for you. And they actually created the new publication pages. This is an example right here. See your brand and then all your articles. Downside is there is no way to say, hey, make one of these for me. Google has to do it on its own. So if you look at SEO this week, I have this site inside of the Publisher Center, but I don't have I have no citations, right? And I don't have I don't have a publication page like this. So I'm imagining it's probably traffic and popularity that's going to be the key to get this on here. Let's see, that's search engine land. Let's see if search engine journal is in here. There's search engine journal. Yeah, see, they have one too. So I'm imagining it's probably traffic and you probably some backlinks and stuff. So if you're a big brand, you got nothing to worry about. If you're one of those guys that was making 1,000+ G sites in the news things, then you just wasted all of that time. I think it was a waste of time beforehand, but you wasted even more just trying to get him in the Publishers Center. Even my old piddly ass site, search SEO This week, until I get off my butt and actually build traffic to it and stuff, it's not gonna get any traction in Google News, just the way it is. In the regular search, though, this all looks the same. So if you go to Google and click News, SEO This week. See the sites there. If you click the news, and it's not showing anything, right? It's not showing my particular website, but this presentation is all the same. So it's a mix of. Hallucinations persist in leading AI models. This is really, like I've been saying since everyone jumped on the AI bandwagon, including myself, full disclosure, that these things are generative AI and they do make things up. If it doesn't have the answer, rather than saying, I don't have it, it's going to generate it. Hence the primary word in that, generative artificial intelligence from large language models. So you have to understand that that's happening and you have to be able to edit your way out of that problem if you really care about it. Like if you're using AI to make, for example, tier 1, tier 2 to tier 3, tier 4 links on different places, probably all not that big of a deal. You don't give a crap if those are indexed anyway. You just want them crawled, make sure Google knows about them. If they don't index them, that's totally fine with you. That kind of stuff, you just go and flow, right? And you can improve the quality of the articles with better prompts as well. But at the end of the day, you still got to review it and you got to edit it, especially if you're putting it on clients' websites. You don't want to just willy-nilly just drop AI content onto a client's website without at least reading the damn thing or doing a little bit of editing. Plus, AI SEO is nowhere near the quality that all these tools are saying that it is. And so if you're depending on that for part of your SEO process, you're going to have to edit just stuff anyway. And then if you're using like a tool that does automatic AI generated SEO, then you're doing yourself a disservice. Your SEO might be faster because you don't have to do it, but it's not being done right. And it's missing a whole lot, even with the best prompts, etc. AI and SEO are not one and the same by any means of the imagination or even close. So keep an eye on that. Remember, hallucinations persist in SEO and in content generation. So you got to edit, you got to SEO. Core update impact, multiple poll results. This is mainly is because the core update, they say that it's done. It's been completed. But you can see mostly about half, 38% that say that there's no change, about the same, etc. I will say on one of my sites, I've seen some dropping. And then on other sites, they're fine. There haven't been any changes, mainly digital ear, because I'm not doing any link building or anything like that. Amazingly enough, I get a lot of links to that website, but I'm not doing link building to it. So I need to do a disavow file because they're getting knocked. It's getting knocked out. It's just what happens when you make friends, I guess. Google confirms you can't add EAT to your web pages. This is it's a little bit of an interesting subject, but the short version is John Mueller says they're using EAT for your money, your life pages, and then it's saying if you have EAT elements on pages that are not your money, your life, that it essentially doesn't matter. If it's not in that niche, is not looking for it, then it's not helping you. Does that make sense? So in short, that's what he's kind of saying here. He says it is not needed on your money, your life pages. Like it wouldn't be expected. The example he gave is a recipe site. You know, the author has created cookies for 27 years is his example. Like you don't have to say that, but having an author bio, in my opinion, would make it a little bit more personalizing. Perhaps engaging if you are using your recipe site as an example to get affiliate stuff. Then you might get a little bit more benefit out of it. I like the idea though that he's finally said you don't need it all the time. Like it doesn't have to be part of your SOP for, if you're doing SEO for a recipe site, for example, then you don't have to worry about a lot of this stuff. Right? That said, a lot of that stuff that is being recommended is actually pretty interesting. And author attributes, structural improvements, metadata, etc., are really good EAT signals that I think if you can, then go ahead and leverage them. FAQ and schema alignment, essentially that's saying if you're going to do FAQ and you're going to do schema, make sure that they kind of, don't, I don't want to say that you can't have different FAQs and different schema, but generally, if you're going to get the most out of your FAQs, you want that schema to match. And then if and when you get cited and people also ask, for example, it highlights the question when people click on it, the answer is highlighted when they click to your website. In that fragmentation that Chrome makes, right? Where is it? Let's see if I have it in this one. Click copy link to highlight. If you have that, Google uses yours as a PAA. That if your schema and your FAQs are aligned, it's good. That's a good thing. And the same with metadata and alt text, etc. I would think probably this one and this one would be the two most important to do. This article, an EAT score of 82, like he never once says where's that 82, what the hell's creating this score. So I think it's really probably a little bit of fantasy land going on there with this EAT score of 82. But I mean, we've seen posts from Matt Diggity and a couple other good people who have played around with some of the features that are going with EAT, and it's helping. So I like this, breaking up long paragraphs, use bullet points, and include headings to make your content easier to skim. The new ChatGPT is actually writing that way a lot now, almost to the point where like it relies almost exclusively on bullet points, which is a little bit annoying, but that's helping us. Author attribution is, I think it's important if you're coming out. I'll be adding this to Digital Ear. As a matter of fact, I think I have it on SEO this week already where the author things turned out. If not, I got to put that on there. And you can tie that in. Like if you are doing, if you're worried about, what you're known for, you can go to images, SEO Rockstars, Digital Ear, SEO Expert, Spring Training, Schema. Like I talk about all these things on different sources and stuff. So you know that that's carrying on pretty good, and you can actually do an about that kind of matches those to reinforce them if you want to, or if you want to add new stuff to this list, add it more to your about page. And then if you are doing something like guest posting or contributors, etc., you can use that same about across the board. And it's, in my opinion, it's good for you. It ties everything together. So internal linking, I don't know necessarily that's EAT focused, but you should be doing internal linking anyway. And then metadata and alt text is essentially, title tag, meta description. Fill it out. It's just because you can leave it blank doesn't mean you probably it's a good idea. And then alt text is pretty interesting too. And I'm doing a new test on alt text. Where I have ChatGPT actually writing my alt text for me based off of the keyword. I think I've shared the prompt that I'm using inside of our Discord. But if I haven't, I still want to do a test to show that, I can put a whole alt text just like this that is really descriptive, but it would be still targeting my primary keywords. So, something to look for as well. And then visuals and engagement. This is really more just getting people clicking around on your website, etc. You can, if you have more visuals, you have images, videos, and infographics, you're going to generate backlinks really well naturally and get traffic sources from other places too. So, while not necessarily a EAT thing, in my opinion, it's good to have in the first place. Brand visibility. A lot of people now are talking about, oh, you shouldn't worry about rankings. You need to worry about visibility. And the thing is that none of them, what they're talking about is brand visibility. And if you want to see a really good example of this article right here, this is brand visibility. So your a keyword, free Ahrefs, SEO and Ahrefs, SEMrush and Ahrefs. That's brand visibility. Now these are related queries out of Google Trends. But you can do the same thing in Search Console, and you just filter with your query that put your brand in the query thing, and then show all of those. So they want to increase that. So basically, what's happening is that their brand Ahrefs in regards to their keyword tool or SEO in Ahrefs. So their brand is being commingled with the feature or the entity SEO or the service of SEO, right? And so that's kind of what you want going on with your brand visibility. You want to increase your brand visibility. You want to see this metric go up. People are saying that that's what you should be tracking now and not rankings. Stupid. It's dumb. Like, what if they're ranking for SEO? This is Google Trend, and these are the related. But let's say they are ranking for SEO and not SEO brand, and they're not tracking SEO, and they're getting a whole bunch of traffic from SEO, but they don't know why that it's there. They don't, especially if it happens to be a converting thing, then you're going to run into trouble. So, yes, you should worry about brand visibility. 100% agree with it. You should worry about that, but you should not kick out rankings for the purposes of looking at visibility. You can do both. A good example of that is using a tool like SEO Power Suite Rank Tracker. Hold on, let me get a sip. And it has a visibility metrics for each keyword too. So, say Best Phoenix SEO company, for example. And my visibility for that keyword is, I'm looking at, it's 0% right now. And it's 0 because I'm number 32 in Google. I'm not ranking anywhere in Bing, right? Yeah. So my overall visibility is 0. So visibility is based off of rankings just as much. and if you're not ranking, then you can't get clicks. If you can't get clicks, you certainly can't get targeted clicks, i.e. your right market, which means you won't get any traffic. If you don't get traffic, you can't get leads. If you can't get leads, you can't get sales. You can't get sales, you can't make money, right? So and for search engine optimization, it all starts out with the rankings. So and without the rankings, you can't get the visibility. And without the visibility, you can't get searches like this unless you're using AI to generate them. Not AI, CTR, manipulated CTR to generate them yourselves. So one is not without the other. So if you see a lot of people that are like, skip rank tracking anymore, don't use traffic, that's not a good one. You want brand visibility. That's your KOI. You cannot have brand visibility without you can't have brand visibility without rankings. You can't have conversions without rankings. So you can't have traffic without rankings. You can't have brand visibility without traffic, i.e. that's how Google Trends measures visibility, is the traffic and the search volume that goes to it. There's related traffic that goes with that to get the increased visibility. So put those together and do it that way. All right, this is a test, and I want to highlight more of these. I'm trying to figure out a way to actually put some tests on Digital Ear and create the new format and stuff for these, because I like what Search Pilot does. They're pretty good at this stuff in creating the test post and everything, but maybe the methodology a little bit sometimes leaves to be desired, but really it's a CTR, A/B testing, whereas what I do is single variable testing. Is it a factor? And then multivariable testing in a live. How important is that factor? This is typically what I've been doing. But these guys do a lot of CTR stuff, which is really valuable and part of, I would argue, like the third step in your SEO testing phase. So essentially what they're doing is changing the title tag. So typically health clinics near me, and then Dallas, right? So Dallas, Texas. And then they're moving Dallas, Texas and putting health clinics near me, and then the site. And this is the control, the typical way we all do it. And then this is the variant moving it over. This is what they're testing. And the CTR, when they moved it, actually went up. The rankings dropped, I think, because the keyword is no longer leading, but the rankings dropped a little bit. It's kind of marginal, but the CTR went up. And looking at it, I would go a lot. Like, it went up a lot. Here's what it was before. Here's what it is now. It went up a lot. But again, the rankings dropped a little bit doing that. It also dropped in the control too, so I don't necessarily, it's a little harder to, it's like marginal, really. If you look at the graphs and then pretend where the lines are and try to figure that out, it is pretty marginal in regards to the amount of drop that happened. So I would think that if you are number 2 and then you did this and you dropped to number 3 and your CTR shot up, eventually Google's going to reward you and bring you back in the number 2 or even the number 1 slot, because your CTR has increased so much. So I would play with this a little bit. Again, if you were, somewhere in the top 5 and your client or yourself don't have the marketing budget to boost it up with some more links or whatever, and then you've exhausted on-page SEO for right now based off of the correlation studies tools that you have, try this test out. I mean, if you're in 5 and your CTR goes up, it might put you into 3, and then your CTR is going to go up some more, and then eventually you'll scale up to 2 and 1 potentially, right? So take advantage of this test idea and try it out.
Did you know a press release alone isn't enough? Visibility is key. You need a multi-platform strategy to share your story across news, audio, video, and social media. Welcome to Magic PR, where your press release transforms into a powerful media experience, maximizing exposure and engagement. We distribute your release to top outlets like Yahoo Finance, Bloomberg, Business Insider, and more. Plus, your release is SEO optimized, ensuring better search rankings. But we don't stop there. We turn your press release into a podcast, distributing it across 25 platforms like Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and SoundCloud. Then, we create a social media content for Facebook, X, and Instagram, and even transform your story into a video press release for YouTube and top media sites. Video drives over 80% of higher engagement, and short-form content is king. We make viral videos for your YouTube Shorts, Instagram Reels, and more. At Magic PR, we don't just publish, we amplify. Get your press release seen, heard, and shared everywhere. Visit magicpr.com today and take your brand to the next level. Back to you, Clint.
All right, questions. Does Reddit link affect domain authority? So it's the short version of this is that they're using social media, and Reddit is one of them. And that's essentially how they're building backlinks to their website. They're promoting their content with social media, which in turn is building backlinks. And they're getting a positive result. Website traffic increased 800% in the last 30 days. Search console, 300% month over month. I would say that's a positive result. Now, it could be, little shitty, tiny traffic numbers potentially, but, an increase 800% and 300% is pretty good. Irregardless of that. But they had a DA15 before they started that. Now they have a DA5. And essentially what is happening is a lot of these pages here have no page authority. So yeah, Reddit has a high domain authority, but their page authority is low. And Moz relies heavily on page authority, the pages that are linking to them, to create your DA domain authority. So if you have a ton of these, then you are inherently going to lower your domain authority because your page authority from the links that are getting to you is pretty low. But as you can see from the numbers here, it doesn't really matter. So it's just a measurement, and it's a third-party measurement to help you filter, etc. But at the end of the day, it doesn't seem to have any correlation with rankings. Or traffic by their own numbers. So I wouldn't necessarily worry about it. Eventually, this method of link building is going to stop working for you. Like, you're going to stop seeing results from it because you just have so much of it. And Google, it's just, you're like relying on one or two things, and Google's going to stop caring about it. So you will want to move on and add other link building methods, and this will go up naturally as you do that. Is it better to have a backlink from a footer or a landing page body? And the short answer is landing page in the content is the best place. If you have a link in navigation, sidebars, or footers, it still will count. You will get a boost from doing it. However, in all testing so far, every test that's been done, the in-content link is the one that gives you the most bang for your buck. So if you have the option to get one in a footer or the content body, always go for the content body. And that's what you want to do. So in short, yes, it is better to get one from a landing page body. Do backlinks in your relevant niche not matter? Weird question. So essentially what they're asking is, if I have a plumber website, should every link that I get come from a plumber? And the answer is no, you don't have to do that. If you're in a geo market, let's say I do in Phoenix, should all my links primarily be from websites in other Phoenix? No, you don't have to do that. Will you get a decent result if you can achieve said things? Oh yeah, definitely. Especially in the geo relevance thing. If having Phoenix other websites in Phoenix linked to your Phoenix website, you will get a geo boost from doing that. It doesn't have to be like you, just because you're a roofer, you don't have to go to all the other Phoenix roofers and say, hey, let's link to each other. that may work, but I would argue probably in that market, not everyone's going to link to you. They're not going to want to. But you can get, you're a roofer, you can get framer websites to link to you. You can get the cement guy to link to you. You know, get all your little subcontractors to link to you. Let's just say you're a general contractor and you have all these subcontractors, have them all linked to you, and you link all back to them. And you can even get a little bit smarter and have them all interlinked to each other, and that will definitely help you. But you don't have to have links from relevant websites. Now, if you're a follower of Greg Morrison, like I was, you can do his reverse sink or swim, which is essentially if I have a web page about backlinks, I want to first place I look for backlinks to get the biggest bang for my buck in the fastest way is look in the title tag, backlinks, URL, backlinks, and then H1, and just pretend this is H1, backlinks. It says backlinks. Then this is a good link for me. This would be a good one to do. Again, fastest, biggest bang for your buck. But at the end of the day, you're going to run out of those opportunities. But so the non-relevant niche backlinks are still good for you. So if this was a plumbing website, and as I was promoting my website, we were building some backlinks, and then take that backlinks and then link to my backlinks page from a plumber's website, perfectly fine. The anchor text is what's giving the meaning of the link, and signaling to Google the meaning of the page that you're linking to. So, no, you don't have to go solely with niche relevant backlinks. Tools, Manus. Everyone and their dog is talking about this thing. Here's the pricing: $39 a month for 39 credits. I just got into it. You have to apply. I applied for it 3 times before I got accepted, and I just both my emails that I applied to just got accepted today. Weird, but a lot of people talking about this and saying, "Oh, it's good." So Manus IM, sign up for it. Again, it took a while. Another guy that I talked to, he applied for it twice. First time, not much. Second time, he put it in this big old life story thing and got accepted. That's essentially what I did. I went back and then put this big old life story, created it, and then I had to delete half of it because of the text limits, and then it let me in. So whatever. But a lot of people are talking about this, saying it is really good. You can see some examples that are here already, and just try to fire it out and look at it. I'm going to test it first. I got 1,000 credits, I think is what it gave me when I first signed up. Yeah, 3 before I commit to paying for another AI thing. But definitely something that you guys should all check out. So that's a cool tool called Manus. Matter of fact, let me do this while I'm thinking about it. There you go. Done. Move it. Put it with my AI stuff. There. All right. And then here's another tool. I just got a preview of this. So if you use Frames, Oxygen, Brick Builder, and then Breakdance, etc., Etch is along those lines. This is from the creators of Frames. Kevin Leary, he's a creator of Frames. I saw the preview, like what is it all about, and honestly, I'm pretty excited about it. The pricing right now, and it's not deployed yet, but it's coming, is $7.99 once. This is essentially, if you're doing the investor part, you're going to be doing a lot of the beta testing, and then you get into the early bird. That's just when it's all said and done. I'll probably go with the investor route. But one of the things that was really interesting to me, what's this? Flex. Oh, that's better. Yeah, probably do that. One of the things that was interesting to me, it was kind of like live canvas. Let me show you what I'm talking about. Livecanvas.com. And you see this HTML thing, like Oxygen, you can't see that. So I'm editing this block, and then I'll see the HTML view if I want to, and then I can do whatever I want to do in the HTML. Take advantage of the builder to design it, and then use the HTML and do some quick edits and stuff, or add things that I want to do, or whatever I want to do. All right, I can do that in here, which makes Live Canvas special. Can't do that in Oxygen, can't do it in Oxygen 6. But now you'll be able to do it in Etch. So definitely another tool that I recommend you guys check out. Recommend you check out Live Canvas. I'll bring that site back up so you can see it. It's livecanvas.com. And then there's Oxygen 6. This is out too. This one's still in beta. If you know the Oxygen community on Facebook, they're a bunch of whiny bitches because it's not 100% complete yet. But essentially, they brought in, what is it? Breakdance. Is that? They brought some features that they figured out for breakdance, which is essentially the Clint Butler version of Oxygen. It's Oxygen for Dummies. That's breakdance. And then the best features of the old version of Oxygen and put it together and made Oxygen 6. That's kind of how to best describe Oxygen 6. But again, it's still in beta mode, so don't expect a whole lot of Oxygen 6 right now. They're still building it out. And then Frames is the other one. Get Frames. And it's really designed for speed of use. Build it out. It's kind of like, and with ACS, you combine those two, and it's kind of like a high-tech Elementor. Does that make, that's probably the best good add-on description of it. And then you have the Figma add-on too. Design Tights, which is really good because you can play with the Figma and then build everything out and then bring it over into Frames. So those are all the kind of the builders that I use, but I'm pretty excited about Etch, and I'll definitely be signing up for the investor level just to get going with it. And I'll do the flex payments too because I'm a cheap ass. So why drop $800 a month when I can just do it this way? And I'll give them a little bit more extra money because they'll continue to build it out, etc. too, so they're motivated to maintain it. Which is fine. I don't like doing lifetime things anyway. So the single payment of, was it 500 once? Like if they did that, or like Elementor is like 100 and something a month or a year, that would have been fine too. But you know, since they're bellying it out and it's looking really, really interesting and cool, I'll probably go with this one right here, this deal. Let's see if we can pop it in real quick. Yep, I can use PayPal. So perfect. I can track everything, and yeah, I'll be spending, what is that, $160 more? Yeah, $800 to $960, so $160 more to do the flex payments. That's totally okay. It's a tax deduction anyway. So, I'm good with that. All right, that has been it for SEO this week. I hope you liked it. We got some news, got some questions answered. We got some, showed you a couple tools. Actually, let me check one more thing before we go. Let's check the studio. YouTube Studio, content, questions here. Time to upgrade. Answered that question, and yep, that was it. So we're good. All YouTube questions have been answered. So lesson there is, if you have questions for me you would like me to answer outside of the ones that I find in Reddit, come into the videos, drop a question in the comments, and then I'll either A, make a video for it, B, answer it right there for you because it seemed like it would be a question you want a timely answer to, or we'll do that added to the video the following week. So we have 3 opportunities to answer your questions if you ask them inside of the channel. So with that, thank you very much. I appreciate you watching SEO this week and supporting me. Hit the like button, hit thumbs up, and share it with your friends. And I'll see you next week.